Alice, I got the script from Colin, and then he told me all about George MacDonald and how it was inspired by George MacDonald's The Shadows. And I started reading The Shadows, and then I started reading other George MacDonald stuff, and I got a real sense of what he was about, and just the way Alice, where she was coming from, and the way she wanted to look after Lorcan and Matthew. Oh, it's brilliant, it's amazing, and it's just the whole atmosphere around the set is amazing. The forest, really, you can really get into the character of the shadows and where they're from, and hear them in the wind blowing, and the rivers, and it's on mountains, so it's great. Very poetic and lyrical and just beautiful. I thought the whole images were stunning, and yeah, I just could you could feel everything from the first page. Colin had all these beautiful images and little gems, and you know, the shadows and the caves and the keys, and I knew it was very Colin Downey. If I didn't even if I didn't know it was him that wrote it, I'd say, oh, he's got to do this. So it's lovely, yeah. It's not even the whole fantasy films, but the whole idea of myths and spirits and our world connecting with another world. That and all the literature, I'd really always loved all of that. I loved poems, and I liked Lewis's stuff, and Yeats wrote all these poems about fairies, and they were actually all inspired by George MacDonald, and I hadn't realised that until I started reading George MacDonald stuff. So I love the whole idea of myths and fantasy, and the way children can see those things, you know, imagination. Like lots of adults just lose a sense of wonder and a sense of awe and connecting with nature. So I always loved that. I always liked the idea of nature and the power of it and the magic of it. Yeah, I worked with Colin previously on Babyface, and back then he had the same. He was always very, you know, open and giving and poetic, creative. You know, he's lovely he's a really nice, gentle soul, Colin, and he was always very giving and easy to work with. And I kind of share a lot of the same visions as him. You know, if that's the thing with Colin, if you meet up with him and you talk about Alice, or you same with Babyface, he's like, yeah, and he listens, and he's got all these like little symbols, and that's what the script is full of, those things, you know. You can take what you want out of it, and he was always like that, Colin. So he's really good, yeah. Delighted to work again.